We ultimately have been conditioned in a way to think a certain way or to not think a certain way. And to each their own, whatever is working for you, go with the flow and understand yourself. However, if you are currently having thoughts that are not helping you get the money, that are not helping you develop healthy relationships, and are just not helping you prosper in life, it is time to get rid of that boo, because we go in places and we can bring no heavy baggage there, because everything we want is at that destination. Hey y'all, my name is Golden and this is House of Gold. Here we speak about everything elevation when it comes to our intelligence, our lifestyle, and how to prosper with the money. And today I wanted to focus on emotional intelligence and the philosophy of emotional intelligence and why it's so important. Let's get this train on the road. It is really important to understand yourself. When you understand yourself, you do not need to be obligated to go out and get any serious validation from other people. Meaning, you are open to other people's opinion, but that does not change who you ultimately are. Now, what is emotional intelligence, someone might ask? I would like to say emotional intelligence starts with ethics, your morals, what you value, what your standards are, and ultimately your etiquette and principles of life. Now, if you want to get to know more about what emotional intelligence is, I would definitely start with what you value. What will you put up with and what you won't put up with? Now, how does one become emotionally intelligent? Well, the first step is awareness, being aware of who you are. And that includes what you like, what you dislike, what you put up with, what you won't put up with, and most importantly, what you've been through and how you handled this situation. So with that being said, let's start with the mind. The mind is a beautiful and big deal. It's definitely something that's always overlooked. One may call it mental health, one may call it intelligence, but today let's just call it emotional intelligence and the mind. And with the mind, your mind has been through so many things on this planet. You've experienced so many things as well, and also have adapted certain conditions from the experiences you went through. Now, once you're aware of these things, you start to develop a relationship with your mind. Because you know what you've been through, you start to develop a true bond with your mind and how it works. Now, if you're anyone who's been through trauma or anything that's been upsetting, it is definitely ideal to reach out to a therapist or someone who you love and someone who's going to acknowledge and support your feelings. This is very important, to watch who you speak to about the traumatic events that you've been through in life, because trauma deserves a certain type of love and support. So the element of awareness is so key in your journey of success and how to prosper with that money. How, you ask? Well, awareness of your mind is going to be so significant to how you navigate this life. And when you are aware of your mind and the thoughts that come to mind, this is where you can start to develop personal management and control of your thoughts, your feelings, and how you can just keep that money and prosper and not break networks that are ultimately beneficial to you. Now, the first thing you want to do when it comes to developing your mind and awareness is to understand your thoughts. We have so many thoughts throughout the day, throughout our life, and ultimately consistent thoughts that might bother us or uplift us as we go on in our day-to-day activities. Be aware of the thoughts that come to your head. Where do they come from? Who put them there? We ultimately have been conditioned in a way to think a certain way or to not think a certain way. And to each their own, whatever is working for you, Go with the flow and understand yourself. However, if you are currently having thoughts that are not helping you get the money, that are not helping you develop healthy relationships, and are just not helping you prosper in life, it is time to get rid of that, boo, because we go in places and we can bring no heavy baggage there, because everything we want is at that destination. So your mind is something that can cultivate this vision and cultivate your end goals and destination in life. And it is up to you to manage them, and only you. I repeat, it is up to you to manage your thoughts and your awareness. Only you. I repeat, it is up to you to manage your thoughts. I repeat, it is up to you to manage your thoughts and your awareness. Only you. Now, how can you manage that, you may ask? Well, what do you think about the first thing in the morning? Are you one to think about your problems? Are you one to think about the task you have to do throughout your day? Are you one to think of that loved one or that one you got in a fight with? Ultimately, if you're thinking about any of those and above, that is the wrong way to start your day. Yes, it is. You need to give yourself some time to be aware of the environment you're in. You need to give yourself some time to be grateful that your eyes has opened, that your lungs are working, and you can breathe. Be aware of that and be thankful of that, because there are a lot of people in the world who do not have access to the simple things of that nature. So if you're focused on the things that are outside of you right when you wake up, you're ultimately now distracting yourself, and you're ultimately ignoring yourself. If you aren't paying attention to your body and to your mind when you wake up, then that's kind of going to give you a disadvantage on emotional intelligence building. Another thing you want to look out for is when you wake up in the morning and you're more aware of your thoughts and you have negative thoughts, write them down. Write them down. And matter of fact, write all your thoughts down. One thing I like to do when I wake up is journal. I journal my dreams, I journal a thought, I journal what I have to do, but ultimately I journal and I write things down. This will make you have more of a clearer mind throughout the day and make you more productive and happy. Another thing I recommend you doing is to watch what you're consuming on a daily basis. That includes food, yes, but it also includes the conversations you have, the music you listen to, the TV or internet series that you watch, the podcasts that you listen to, and ultimately the advertisements that you listen to. All of these things throughout the day affect how you think. And these are ways of conditioning your mind to think a certain way and act a certain way. So if you're listening to things that throughout the day are not aligned with your goals, your values, your principles, and where you're going, get rid of it. Something I have done to help build my emotional intelligence and awareness is that I do not watch the news. I do not have cable. I do not indulge in TV shows too often. And although it is something that I did enjoy, what I do value more is where I'm going in my life and the destination I want to be at. And if that means to stop watching certain things and stop listening to certain genres of music, I am fine with that, because I feel there is more value in my goals and where I'm going than just a moment in time of conditioning my mind in a way that doesn't align with my vision. Okay? So building your awareness is so key with yourself. Understand what you're doing on a daily basis. Try not to focus on people outside of you and focus on your actions. Try to focus on why you do things a certain way. And it's okay to question yourself, because this is where you find your answers. Only you have the answers to the questions that you are asking yourself. Only you can understand yourself as good as you. Nobody outside of you can ever do that, not even me. But what I can do is help you, guide you on trying to understand yourself more, because I definitely took the time to understand myself, and I'm just going to share some tips with you on how you can develop your awareness and how you can align it with your goal and destination you want to be at in life. Once you're aware, I tell you, life is so much easier because then you start to become more aware of other things. You start to see the little details that are very significant in situations that others may overlook. And this is why they call it emotional intelligence, because you are emotionally aligned with yourself in the present moment, and you're also intelligent enough to understand the cues or where they're coming from and what they mean and how to live with it in a day-to-day basis. So once you understand your awareness and who you are, I assure you, you are going places, okay? Because once you're aware of yourself, you then start to develop and practice that muscle of awareness, and it starts to get stronger and stronger every time you do so. So the next time you are by yourself and you may have a thought, write it down and dive into it more. Ask yourself where this thought may have come from. Has it come from a past experience? Has it come from an experience that maybe traumatized you or made you upset? Has it come from maybe a family member, a friend? Really understand where these thoughts are coming from so you can differentiate which is yours and which came from an actual situation. Because let me tell you, those are two different things. Your brain ultimately just wants to keep you safe, and you have the power to push those boundaries and into elevating yourself into becoming a better and more intelligent you. I would like to say that the brain is kind of lazy. It wants to keep you safe, so it's always going to find the most efficient way of doing something in its most simplistic form. Meaning, if it's easy, then that's the choice your brain is going with. And it's up to you to manage yourself and your brain and putting yourself in positions of elevation. So we know that our brain wants to keep us safe and maybe keep us back in our comfort zone. But I don't know about you. Here we're all about elevation and we go in places. And that takes control of our mind. When we conquer our mind and our thoughts, we are ultimately conquering our problems that may arise in the future. Because we internally problem solve, we now have the skill to problem solve on an external level. I also have a video on how you can level up yourself in the world of love. And if you want to know a little bit more about love and understand a little bit more about people, stay tuned for the next video, because I'm going to recommend two extremely life-changing books that really pivoted me forward in elevating my mind and mentally putting myself in better situations due to the understanding of the books that I read. So if that's something that you want to read, click to the next video and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in, and you going places, you good. Don't ever give up on your dream. You go on places, you are loved and you are light. Keep it going, keep the discipline, and understand that only you can bring yourself to where you want to go in life. Okay, so with that being said, go be great.